Hello and welcome to episode 3 of DottysSockery. I'm Susie and I'm coming to you from near Wolverhampton in the West Midlands, and it is Thursday the 5th of February. Now, I fully intended to do a podcast in January. That did not happen for various reasons. One, I was absolutely mad busy with work and things kind of got on top of each other, so I did a little vlog. Just a sort of post-Christmas, here's some exciting things vlog. But then I realised after I posted it that I'd actually done it the wrong way up. So it was more like in the style of a short, which did not look great. So it didn't end up being a proper podcast, but it did end up being a sort of long short. Long short, is that a thing? It's a long short. So yeah, it's been a while. Longer than I wanted it to be. And lots has happened, but I haven't finished a lot. So my plans for January were to finish a load of projects, get a load of finished items, finished objects, show you a load of finished things, and it was going to be fabulous. And that did not happen because my ADHD brain went, oh, look, here's a shiny new project. Oh, look, here's a shiny new project. And what happened was I cast new things on. I neglected some things and I obsessed over one thing in particular, which is now a finished object, and I will show you. I'm wearing it, haha. So yeah, it didn't quite go to plan. However, we're moving on from that. We're drawing a line under that, and I'm going to try and be a little bit more organised going forward. I think I need to start keeping a record of what my whips are and when I began sort of working on them, so that I can hold myself accountable to actually finish them within some sort of allotted time frame. I'm not very organised. I never have been. I probably never will be, but I'm going to try. We are endeavouring to try. So let's get into finished objects, because there is only one. I do have some acquisitions a bit later as well. We'll go into that. So I have a single finished object. I have some whip items, some very neglected whip items that I need to motivate myself into finishing, some acquisitions, which is very exciting, some new cast-ons and some plans. And I can tell you all about my little birthday outing as well, which that's linked to the acquisitions, so we'll get into that later. So if we first get into the finished objects, there is only one. It is both a new cast-on and a finished object. My January basically plan went out of the window, and I came across a crochet pattern, the Whispered Serenity sweater by Ravellry Designs, I think. I don't know how it's meant to be pronounced. I will put it on the screen. I had a go. End of. I will always try. Some of the time. So yeah, I saw this, and I had the yarn that I bought at Yarndale that I was very excited about. I think I showed you last time let's not throw that on the floor. The Blooming Yarns, that's what's left of it. I don't know if you can actually see the colours in that. It's the very sort of blues and greens and a sort of very dark red, burgundy red. It's my colour palette completely, absolutely sort of this sort of earthy kind of tones. And this yarn, when I saw this pattern, I was like, that is the yarn for that pattern. That's gonna happen. That needs to happen. So that's I'll just show you what it says on there, because I'm not going to try and pronounce what I think is an Italian word. It's basically a very, very oversized, floppy, sort of boho kind of cropped thing sort of sweater. I think I've got too big on sizing. They have a really good size range on there actually. I think there's 6 sizes, and I did the 4th size, the XL. I can't remember the measurements off the top of my head. I'll see if I can pop on the screen how big that goes up to, because I do like it when a pattern has like a big size range. I love it when they're size inclusive. This one is very size inclusive. Actually, it might be less inclusive for very, very small people because it is very oversized. And I probably could have gone down. I might have to stand up to show you this. Let's just... So it's very boho. It's very me. It's very baggy, and it's one piece, and it's sort of crocheted in the round, to be fair, but you do sort of back and forth, so it does end up with like a seam, but you're joining it every time. So yeah, this became my January obsession. So once I started this pattern, everything else went out of the window, and I hyper focused on it and started and finished it before you guys even knew I was going to do it. So this is what happens. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it, actually. I think it's turned out really, really well. I love how drapey it is and how baggy it is, and I love the crop sort of big floppy sleeves and the crop kind of look. That kind of boho vibe is just my thing. As I said, I do think I went a bit too big on the sizing, and I could probably size down at least 2 maybe on that, because I have very short arms. I've got really short arms, and it's kind of drowning me a little bit, but I do have to keep kind of pulling them up because I keep catching them on doorways and stuff. But yeah, I'm not going to take this off now ever. So this is now my personality, okay? The sweater the Whispered Serenity has become my personality. I'm here for it. So yeah, the rest of that yarn I'm going to chuck into my scrappy pile. So whips. I got a bit too excited over this, didn't I? Try not to spend too long on one thing. So whips. So you will remember the Jan sweater that was the mystery pattern that I forgot and then remembered, and I've kind of neglected it a little. I have knit some more on it, but then I neglected it again because I did something funny and dropped a few stitches and fell out with it because they're so tiny that I struggle to actually get them back. So this one kind of went on ice for a minute till I could work out what I'd done. I have now fixed it. However, again, this took over. So I think last time, I can actually see where I was at because my tensions changed slightly. So last time it was just here on the rib, and we've carried that on. So it's quite a long rib on the bottom of that pattern. So I haven't got too far with it, but considering how tiny the stitches are and how fine that yarn is, I think I'm doing okay on it. I do need to switch back my sort of priorities to getting some of this sort of stuff done because I'm still in the first colour. I've not even got out of that yet. So yeah, that's so that was the Susan Crawford pattern, and I'm using John Arbon Harvest Hues and two Second City yarns greens as well with that, all in 4-ply. I think I've shown you the colorways before, so it's, yeah, I'm not going to keep showing you the same thing. But yeah, I'm still working on that. It's coming. I feel like I need you guys to hold me accountable for this. So the next one, and I can't recall whether or not I've shown this to you. This may actually technically be a new cast on for the podcast, but to me it's not because I've been working on it during sort of over the Christmas period and stuff, but I can't remember whether I actually showed it you before that. So this is the Wolf Bayo by Samantha Stater. And it's like a little crop top. Let's just hold on, let's just sort this out. So yeah, that's it so far. I have done got the neckline, I've got the armholes there, and now I'm just getting into sort of just out of the bust area down into the sort of body area. I've got that on my symphonies, my Knit Pro symphonies. I do quite like the symphonies, although they do have a tendency to splinter, which annoys me. And I have on that the little stitch marker that my mum very kindly got me from Buttons something at the Southern Wool Show. The Buttons place. Oh, it's gone. If I remember it, I'll put it on the screen. So that is it's a lace alpaca cake that I've used. However, I found that it didn't, it was a gradient, but it wasn't a proper gradient. They were just sort of tied together, and that upset me a little bit. So I've separated the colours. It didn't sit well in my brain. So I went through and I separated the colours. I've used all the black now. Well, I have the tiniest little bit of the black left, but I don't know where it's gone. But yeah, that's a little lace weight alpaca cake, and that yarn is, I have another one in another colorway, so because I've lost the ball band for that one. It's this alpaca cake yarn. Is it Garn? Yeah, Garn Manufacturer. Come on, do the thing. I don't know if you can actually see that. If not, I'll put it on the screen. But yeah, so it's alpaca. It's 25% alpaca, 25% wool, and 50% acrylic. So there is some acrylic in there. But I was just very, very disappointed in it. It's a lovely yarn to work with. It's nice and sturdy, and it doesn't, it doesn't sort of split, or, I haven't had any issues with it in that sense. It's just the fact that it isn't a proper gradient. They're just sort of tied together very loosely. So you come to the next colour and you're like, oh, what do I do with that? I can't tell you what the name of that colour actually was. This one is 17, according to this. I'm not sure what the other one is, because the band's long gone now, but at least I have that one to refer to, so I know what it is. But yeah, really enjoying that one actually, because I love working. I love lurking. I love working with lace weight yarns because everything's so drapey and so delicate, and I just love the fact that it's, that's something that's like a layering piece then. And I love the pattern. It has this sort of lace edge all the way around that sort of the armholes, and then it continues down. Absolutely adore the pattern. It's going to be a lovely kind of summery layery piece over sort of a tank top or a crop or something. Just sort of layers. I love layers. It's the goth in me. So let's pop that back in there. My yarn's run away. So the gradient on that was black and greys. Although I don't know what number the colourway was. I will probably never find out unless I do some internet digging for quite a while. So, right. So the next whip to show you, again, has been slightly neglected and not massively, was the Piggy Cat socks from Caitlin Beeg. Piggy Cat socks. Again, the pattern that I bought from Yarndale, and I have almost finished one. I just need to finish the word. You know the word when you sew the toe up. Yeah, so cats, cats, and more cats. I've got that one, and I have a second one that is just coming into the heel now, with the cats on top. So I'm almost sort of certain to be there or thereabouts pretty soon. Again, I've got those on Knit Pro Symphonies, on the, I don't know what I've actually got that on. Yeah, Knit Pro Symphonies, the circulars and the DPNs as well. That seems to be the theme of that. In one of my Ravellry yarn craft bags, the little bag. Most of my bags are Ravellry yarn craft bags. They're usually the samples. I tend to steal them when she's finished with them. The yarns on that, the black is a Valley Yarns is it a merino or is it an acrylic? I've lost it now. It's a merino. It's a superwash merino. It's the same as this, but the DK version. So it's a Valley Yarns. And again, I don't know where the ball bands. I need to start keeping ball bands. I got told off actually by my mum for not keeping ball bands. I struggle to actually tell you what things are then, don't I? I'm relying on this. I have this image in my head that I have a really good memory, and then I just don't. So yeah, the black is the Valley Yarns, and the green and the blue are Coats Anchor grounding wool, which was part of a random lot that I got off Vinted, I believe. So I don't really know much about that yarn. I know it is 100% wool, but I don't know what kind, what breed, nothing, because there wasn't a lot of information on the little tag that came with them. I think I may have shown you the yarns before though, so. Right, so the last sort of non-completely neglected WIP, and again, this might be a new cast on, because I don't think I've shown it you. This is, well, I say cast on, it's a crochet piece, but this is Cable Crop Top by Marcy Makes. So it's a panelled crop top. So I'm knitting for summer now. You may have noticed, knitting and crocheting for summer. So I just have the first panel. That's the back panel. I think I've gone too wide. I think I've gone maybe a size too big, because that's sort of the actual back panel, and it's meant to stretch a little. So I probably need a little bit off that. So I may need to unpick that and start again. That's Marcy Makes, and it's very, very pretty. I will put pictures of stuff up here as I find them, and that I'm doing in. I'm not really sure where I got this from. It's 90% merino, 10% polyester, and it's 3 bluebirds in a colour number 4. Oh, throw it on the floor. That's not helpful, is it? And that is a 4-ply, I believe. I think it's a sock yarn. Oh. Yeah. Not much more information on there, to be fair. But yeah, 3 bluebirds. I'd never heard of those, but I'm sure I got it online somewhere because I thought the colour was pretty. And a lot of my yarn, I'm more of a yarn dragon these days. I just stash yarn, and my yarn stash is probably shameful. It's everywhere. It is literally everywhere. So I quite often buy yarns and then I'll come across them sort of months or years later and go, where did I get that from? I don't remember owning that. So yeah, I've made a start on that. It's coming along. I did most of the work that I've done that I did while I've been waiting to go on stage for various gigs. I like to take a little bit of crochet with me and just sort of while I'm waiting for whatever thing to happen before I go and perform with my singing stuff. I can't ever sit still, so I like to. I do find crochet is easier to do when you're on the road like that, or you sort of in a venue somewhere. It's just so much easier and more compact to sort of play around with. So that's kind of become my sitting backstage kind of project. So now we come to the completely neglected section. So a while ago, I showed you the Bellinate blouse from Queer Knits that I was making in the Ulysses colourway from Utri Yarncraft that I designed the colour for. Here it is. And it's gone nowhere since you last saw it. Nothing has happened. I don't have any further on the sleeves. I don't have any further on anything. Yeah, nothing's happened. So I still maintain that I've gone slightly too tight on the rib at the bottom, but it does have an interesting effect when it's on. So I kind of like it. But I do need to finish these sleeves, and I really want to finish this project because it's been hanging around for so long now. And I want to see what it's like blocked. I want to see what it's like when it's done. It was my first attempt at I-cord, and I think I did quite well. It looks okay. It looks fairly even, to be fair. So I'm quite excited about that. However, I haven't found the motivation to finish it because every time I look at it, I go, that's not as exciting as this new thing. So that is currently sitting in another Utri Yarncraft sample bag that that I borrowed, and is now mine forever. And I liked this one because it was the wicked colours, the pinks and the greens. So what was next on that list? So the next neglected is the Anarchy crop top, which I absolutely love. This is the one with the chevroned pattern on the chevron sort of thing going on with it. Absolutely love this pattern. However, I split it for the sleeves far too early, and I realised after I'd done that, and then I dropped probably 20-25 stitches in error, and that so far I haven't been brave enough to try and fix it. That may be this might be beyond my fixing, and I may have to go, Mum. She'll watch this now and she'll be like, bring it over. And that is in the Valley Yarns. That is the 4-ply superwash, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, in just the colour black. And I love black yarn. I don't like knitting with black yarn because you can't see what you've done or what you're doing. However, I love the look of black yarn. So I will continue to ruin my eyesight. But yeah, I'm not brave enough to try and fix all those errors on black yarn yet. But I will. It will get fixed. That's an Audrey Borrego Designs pattern, and it will get fixed. I'm just upset with it right now. Next neglected item. I don't think I've ever shown you this. This has been neglected for a long time, mainly because I just couldn't be bothered with it, to be frank. So I started the braided sweater scarf by Knititude, and it is an acrylic. It's in a Signet Aran. in, what colour is it? In the shade 185 Denim. So the colour is absolutely beautiful. Love the colour. Not the biggest fan of acrylic yarn, but I love the colour. I love the pattern as well, and it's literally just a, it's just a one piece, very, very long thing, and then you sew the sleeves together afterwards, and it wraps around, and it's really beautiful. And this has got the cable down the side, and that's my first proper attempt at cable, so I'm quite proud of it. However, I decided in my infinite wisdom I will complicate the situation by adding beads, which you can see here I have added a few. And then once you start adding beads, you realise that random does not exist, and you have to calculate exactly where you want them to go. And then you realise that trying to get beads onto Aran weight yarn is extremely fiddly, and you end up throwing them all over the floor. And then you get upset with the fact that you've thrown them over the floor, and you put them back in the box and put it back in the bag and never touch it again. So either I am going to rip it out and start again, minus the beads, or I'm just going to put a row of beads in and then just carry on. I mean, the beads are absolutely beautiful. They're sort of shiny blue. I've got some blues, and I've got some white ones in there somewhere as well. Wherever they are. That's rattling nicely, isn't it? Yeah, I've got some white sort of pearl beads as well. So it's very pretty, and I want to finish it. I desperately want to finish it. However, I don't think I'm gonna, because the more I look at it, the more I think, why did I put beads on it? That's never going to work. And it's gone from being something that was going to be a fairly simple pattern to being something that I'm going to get massively frustrated with. So yeah, that one's currently sort of on freeze till I can decide what I'm going to do with it. I might rip it out, I might not, I don't know. It's been there for a very long, it's probably been there for a year already. So another neglected little project, little neglected, poor little thing this is Dragon Wings shawl by, I think it's by Boonitz. I've written down Boonitz, but I don't believe myself. I think it is. And this is so old now that I have no idea what the yarn is. It's a lace weight. I had 2 skeins of this, lost the labels for both of them, and gave one to my mother. So it's like a lovely little rainbow on top of a purple grey. Yes, it is by Boonitz. There we go, Dragonfly Wings. So I wasn't quite there. I knew it was dragon something. So yeah, I got this far, and the pattern itself, I struggled with it a little bit because it didn't make sense to me. I felt like there was something, I was missing something, and then realised that I wasn't missing something, that it's a lot simpler than I'm trying to make it. However, I wasn't entirely happy with my tension on it either, because I've got some gaps and some holes that look a bit odd, as you can sort of see there. So again, this might be a case of, do I just frog it and start again, or do I just frog it and just forget it and do something different? And I can't decide. So that one is kind of on ice as well. I do have other neglected projects. I've also neglected my Lost Soul shawl, and I've lost it. That's also in one of those alpaca cakes. That is the red, I think it was the reds, the red and the black, red faded into the black. I've completely lost it. I have no idea where it is. It was on that shelf. It's not there anymore. Could be anywhere. Have no idea. I'm organised, I promise. No, I'm not. So, new cast-ons. I realise this is already 33 minutes. We're going to be. Well, I think this is going to be a long one. New cast-ons. I have the yarn that I spoke about on Mum's podcast that I bought from the Southern Wool Show. Can't remember who it was from or what it was called. It's sort of almost like a roving type yarn. It's just very loosely spun. This stuff I have started knitting something with, and this is the Simple Tank by the Little Knitly, I think, the little Knitly. I can't read my own writing. I'll put it on the screen. And it's basically just a tank top in sort of chunky yarn. Yeah, it's just going to be sort of like a vest top type thing. Very big, 15 millimeter needles. So that's sort of nice and spaced out. And I love this effect that this yarn has where it's completely inconsistent. I absolutely love that. So some of it is thin, some of it is thick. I just love the inconsistency. It is rolling. I don't know if I'm going to put anything on that to stop that or whether I'm just going to let it roll. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to see what the finish. The pattern says allow it to roll, but I'm going to see what the finished thing looks like and make my mind up. But yeah, so that's one I've been working on. That's another project I sort of started in January and then sort of got a little bit neglected because of the Whispered Serenity sweater that I'm wearing, which took over my life completely. And that is in another Yew Tree Yarncraft bag that my mother very kindly made for me. And it's very, very cute. This one actually is amazing inside. It's got this sort of leafy fabric inside. Absolutely love that. So although pink is not, it's sort of a purpley pink, so it's not too bad. Pink is not my primary colour. It's not it is a colour that it goes well with green. And I'm happy with that. So the other new cast on that I have is, again, not really a cast on because it's crochet, but I don't know what. Is it a cast on if it's crochet? I don't know. I think someone's going to have to sort of inform me of the proper sort of word for this. So this is the Monarch Butterfly Cardigan by Bia Beamy. And it's an online tutorial. You have to buy the pattern and then you get a link to the online tutorial. And there's lots of yarns attached to it at the moment in a big thing because it's all got kind of mixed up in there. So this is basically a cardigan in the shape of butterfly wings, and it's absolutely stunning and it's completely up my street. And I'm basically using it as a methodology to use up some of the stash. So this is the main colour that I'm using here is a sort of dark sort of burgundy purple. It's more purple than it looks on the screen actually. The light's not great in here. So that is a So Crafty Aran yarn. What colour is it? I don't have my glasses on. I have no idea. I think it's an older yarn actually. Who knows? I don't know what the colour is called. It doesn't really have a name or a number on it. But yeah, I've just ignored my little butterfly stitch marker there. That's just telling me which is the right side. So yeah, it's colour work crochet basically. So I'm going to have blues and there's also some mohair in there, which is a Hobie Diablo thing. There's the thing for that. And that is colour 54. Again, they don't name their colours. I do prefer it when colours are named. It's much more fun. But yeah, then they're not really naming them. So I've also got in that this, whatever this is something that I've had for years and years and years and have used some of it, the rest of it's gone into the sort of scrap pile and never come out. So I'm using that up. Don't know whose yarn it is, don't know what it is. It's all mixed up, it's all chaotic. Oh my life, what is, yeah, this is what my life has become. There's just string everywhere. And the secondary main colour on that is going to be some kind of teal colour. I have about 3 or 4 to choose from. I've got lots of spare sort of acrylic yarn that I'm going to try and get used up, because there's just so much of it. Haven't quite decided which one I'm going to put into it yet, but I'm going to see how they compare to that sort of burgundy colour and just go with it. So we'll get to the interesting section, acquisitions. So 28th of Jan was my birthday, and Kev came up from Southampton to spend my birthday with me, and we had a couple of days off. We went on a little adventure, and we went to the Moores Craft Centre in Telford, and we went and visited Kelly at Lay Family Yarns, and I bought some yarn. I shouldn't be buying yarn, I need to de-stash. However, it was so beautiful. And to be fair, I did go with the intention to buy yarn, but I bought 2. So I bought, this is Coal Miner's Walk. It's a lovely kind of bluey grey, sort of cloudy charcoal type thing. And there's some purples in there, there's some greys in there. There's just some real sort of variation there in the tones. And that is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 4-ply basically, and it's so beautiful. And I have a plan for that, so I'll go into plans in a second, but I do have a plan for that. And the other one that I bought is this absolutely stunning sort of, I think my mum's going to try and steal this one. This is Into the Woods. Same base, 4-ply again, and it's so squishy and it's so soft, and I love it so much. And it smells really, really, really sheepy and really nice. I love the sheepy smell. And that's got some sort of very, very earthy tones in there. There's browns, there's sort of greys in there. There's lots of sort of very earthy colours in there. And again, I've got a plan for that one, because I've got a couple of tops the vest type tops that I'm looking at doing for the summer, which are one skein wonders. So this is probably where these are going to go. So that's those. And it was a really, really nice day actually. We had a wander around, got some lunch, and it was lovely. I bought a bit of art as well. There's one of the little art shops there. There was a man there that does landscapes, but they're sort of a bit abstract kind of landscapes. And I bought one of his pieces. It was just out of his little sort of bargain box outside. So my other acquisition was an online purchase. I wanted a new set of interchangeable needles. So these are the Stella interchangeable circulars, and it's a lovely leather type case, and they are just absolutely beautiful. Black with sort of silver sort of markings on them, and they're very, very pretty. And I've got some, they come with little hearts as keepers, and even the little, I never really know what these are called, the little things that you pop in to tighten them up, the little tightener sort of things. Even they've got a little red heart behind them. It's so cute. It's absolutely adorable, this set. I absolutely love it. So yep, I bought that for myself. I did a whole bunch of overtime over Christmas and New Year, and the little sort of bonus that we got off that went on went on interchangeable needles, and I'm very, very happy with them. I haven't used them yet. I'm going to use them on one of my plans, and then I will do a little review for you at some point. But I need to learn to pronounce it properly because I have no idea. So the last little section then, because I think we're getting on for sort of 45 minutes already, and I have talked a lot. I'm good at that, it's fine. So plans, I have mentioned this one before, the cat butt sweater, simply because it is awesome and hilarious at the same time. I'm going to do this green version here because of course I have to do green because it's me, and there's a black cat on it. It fits in my little witchy world. I am here for it. So I love that. Show off your knits. So yeah, this is going to be cast on very, very soon. I need to dig through my yarn stash and see what I have. I don't have, I'm not sure what yarn it calls for actually. Let me have a look. So they do suggest John Arbon's Textile DK, knit by numbers, as that is suggested in there. So it is a DK pattern. I do have some DK black, but not a lot. I've got I had a lot of the Valley Yarns Merino in black. However, I don't like knitting with it very much because it splits a lot. I do have a lot of DK green, a hell of a lot. I have about 4 shades of green in Merino DK, the same as the one I showed you earlier. I can't remember what it's called now. Lots and lots of shades of green, so that will happen. That's by Marna Gilligan, and that was another one that I bought from their store, from the Caitlin Beeg store at Yarndale, and that was the same. It's the same designer as the Peaky Cat socks, which I've absolutely loved doing. So maybe I could use the same greens. Maybe I can have matching socks and a matching sweater. Oh wow, that sounds too exciting. No. I'm such a child. I love it. So another one that I'm looking at, and I will put that here, this one here, because I don't have a physical pattern for it. There is the Francois cardigan by Mandy Julie. That is a very, very pretty pattern that I've had my eye on for some time. I bought the pattern and I do have some yarn in mind. However, I cannot remember what. It's in my phone actually. I've put a little plan together and it's in my phone, which I can't get to now because I'm using that. But yeah, I have a plan for that. I have a yarn for that. I think the yarn that Mum gave me as a thank you for helping out at Yarndale, it's a 4-ply. I can't remember what it's called. It's in the drawer. I'm not going to go and get it. No, it's gone. It's like yellows and greens. It's really, really pretty. I may use that yarn for that. That might be what I wrote down. I cannot remember. Memory, yay. And then there are the 2 single skein vest top patterns that I plan to use the Leif family yarns for. One is the Luxara by Samantha Stater, the same designer as which one was it? The Wolf Bayo. Yeah, so that's called Luxara. That is I'll put that on the screen. That's a really pretty top, and there's some nice patterns in that. And another one also by the same designer, Samantha Stater, the Callian. I think it's called Callian. I again can't read my own writing. Fab. My brain works quicker than my hands do. And yeah, again, that's going to be a single skein wonder, and that's also the other. I can't decide which yarn to use for which yet, but I will cast those on at some point. I have to promise myself to finish some whips first, because I have so many whips, it's actually shameful. The whips that I've showed you, even the neglected whips, I still have more. There are still more. They are in drawers, they're in bags. And I think I might just have to be brutal one day and get all the whips out, assess them all, decide whether I'm going to finish them or not, and just anything I'm not going to finish, just rip it out and put it back in the stash and just find something else that I will definitely do with it. I need to stop being a whip dragon and a yarn dragon. We're not using it, we're just looking at it. It's a hoard now. And the other thing, I should have mentioned this in the acquisitions. The other thing I have bought, but it hasn't arrived yet, I have purchased an e-spinner, and I'm really excited. So that, again, birthday present to myself. Decided that I want to spin. I've had a go, but not with this type of spinner. I had a go at one of the can't remember the name of them. The wooden ones, they're really pretty and really expensive. Whatever they are, I'll put it on the screen. Can't remember. No, brain has gone. It's been a long day. Yeah, I've had a go one of those at one of the shows. Really enjoyed it. Found it quite difficult, but that was because it was that wasn't an e-spinner. It was a manual sort of foot pedal thing. And I found it very, very difficult with my ankles aren't very good. I've got quite dodgy ankles. So I struggle with lifting this way with one of my ankles. So I couldn't quite get the momentum that was needed to be consistent with it. So I think an e-spinner is probably the go-to for me. And I just really want to spin. I want to spin my own yarn. And again, I want to spin and I want to knit with my own, my own spun yarn. I want to just do a project that you've sort of like gone with from start to finish. I'm really quite excited about the prospect of that. So that should arrive somewhere in the next week or so. I'm really excited about it. Yeah, but we can do a little bit of a breakdown of that once it's arrived and once I've had a play with it and worked out whether I can actually work it or not. But yeah, excellent. I'm really excited about that. So that is pretty much my roundup for the whole of January and the beginning of February. This is actually the roundup for the whole of January, beginning of February, because this is all that happened. There's bits of other things, but this is the most. This is the most thing that happened. The most thing? Yeah. This is the thing that happened the most. And even that is too big, so I could have done it quicker. Oh well. So yeah, I will leave it there. It's been a very long one actually for me. I don't normally yap for this long, but I don't think any of this even needs editing. I think I've got one thing in it that I've probably gone blah blah blah, which is rare for me because I usually do that a lot. But yeah, that is me for the day. So I will try not to leave it as long for the next one, but have a wonderful yarny time, and look after yourselves and enjoy your crafting until I see you again. But thank you for wandering into my little whimsical world of crafts and knitting and crochet and everything else. I have also been doing some cross stitch, but I'll show you that when I've got a bit further with it, because at the minute it's boring. But yeah, that's my roundup for sort of that time period, and I will see you all on the next one. Thank you for watching.